Hey guys, let's take a look at Forex Fury Robot. This is a video that I have been preparing for a while by running Forex Fury on a demo account and a little bit on live. And I've run Forex Fury in the past, so I have some experience with it. And I know some of the viewers and subscribers wanted to see Fury, so this is a good chance to take a look and see what we can find out. First thing I have to say is that this video is just for entertainment. I am not soliciting you to trade. I'm not telling you to trade. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm not telling you you should trade. If you do trade, you should trade with money that you can afford to lose, and you should expect to lose the money that you trade with. Honestly, trading, it's very common to lose a lot of money trading, and you should understand this. I'm not suggesting that anything I say is factual, real, or you should take it seriously. Okay, so let me take a look at what I think about Fury here. First thing is, let's take a look at their website. This is forexfury.com. They just released a version 3 update in February. The way Fury works at a high level is that Fury is a scalper, and it is a nighttime scalper. That means that when the US market is getting ready to close, so around 5 p.m. US Eastern Time, or more likely 4 p.m. US Eastern Time, Fury will look for entries and will take a position or multiple positions and then set a very low take profit, typically, depending on your settings, but I've never seen it any other way than a low take profit, let's say 5 pips or something like that. And we'll also set a high stop loss, maybe something like 35 pips, or maybe a 7 pip take profit and a 35 pip stop loss. So this means that Fury is hoping that the market is not moving much, and that just a little bit of noise in the market or a little bit of direction will cause it to hit the take profit, which is very close, before it ever has a chance to hit the stop loss, which is far away. So this is sort of classic scalper behavior. And Fury can take one position, or I think by default out of the box it takes 7 positions. I think I've been running it to take 10 positions, 10 very, very small positions. The reason I run it that way, I will try to get into a little later if I remember. But Fury is very sensitive to volatility. So if a market is volatile, or a currency pair or an asset is volatile, Fury's going to have a hard time, because a 35 pip stop loss compared to a 5 or a 7 pip gain is a huge loss. So in version 3 they added something called range detector. So what this does is it uses the ADX to help determine whether the market is ranging, in other words not moving much, or if it's trending, which means it's moving a lot. And you can set this filter on Fury so that it only trades when the ADX indicator tells the EA or signals that the market is not trending. Now, is this a guarantee that the market's not trending or that the market won't move? Certainly not, but it probably can increase your chances of successful trades. So I like this addition to Fury. In fact, this addition to Fury is the reason that I came back to Fury this year to take another look at it. I ran Fury in the middle of 2019 and found that it was, for me, much too volatile, too prone to big losses. And I had another guy I knew who had built up an account using Fury and made some money, and he basically blew the whole account with Fury over a series of bad trades that only lasted, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. So Fury was very, very, what's the right word? Very, very unreliable when I ran it in 2019, and I wasn't planning to ever run it again. But with this range trading edition, I thought, let me give it another look, and I kind of like what I've seen. So let's look at the a few of the like if we're here on the home page, we can take a look. They have some linked accounts. Now, one thing I'll say about the Fury linked accounts is that I suspect, and I'm not accusing, I'm not certain, but I suspect that the way that they run some of these accounts is not the way that you would run the account, because I've seen some of these accounts that have 100% win rate over a long period of time, which in my opinion isn't very realistic. Fury is going to eventually take some losses, so I suspect that they have removed the stop loss and let trades run for a longer period of time, possibly turned off the updates to my FX book to sort of trick the way it looks in my FX book and sort of spoof my FX book so that you don't see the way that Fury really runs. This is how it appears to me. Can't be sure, but this is how it appears. So I would take these results with a grain of salt, but they're interesting and they look decent. They look okay. You know, if we look at an account like this one, 1% monthly gain with a 41% drawdown or 42% drawdown, that's not very appetizing. As you know, if you watch this channel much, these are not metrics that we're going to get excited about. A 2% monthly gain with a 41% drawdown. And this is a metric we would like better. 13% gain, 4% or 5% drawdown. We love that. So this is monthly gain, by the way. So these accounts are sort of all over the place. They have the settings below the account, but the settings certainly do not always match up with the account, at least in my opinion. And I've asked their support about that, and I think it was a website error, if I remember right, is what the problem was. So you can't necessarily check that these set files or trust that they're the ones you should use to get the same settings as this account. I would probably try to backtest my own set files if I were going to run this, if I were you. Okay, so another thing to say about Fury before we go to look at these. Well, let's look at these. They have a couple of really nice accounts linked, so let's look at these. Forex Fury Real, I think, is their account, and this one's running on cable. And we can see it has 20% monthly gain, drawdown of 14%, running since July 2019. That's pretty beautiful. That's pretty awesome. Looks very good. So this makes me think that running it on cable is not a bad way to run it. If we look at their profitability, they have won 99% of their trades. They've only lost 17 trades. They've won 1,450 trades. They had a big month in March of 2020. And a big month when they started out. I would assume they ran it at higher risk at the beginning and then lowered the risk. That's often the way that marketers or EA sellers work. The marketing is that they will start an EA off with high risk, and if the EA fails, well, what did they lose? A little bit of time, but they never have to show you that account. However, if the EA succeeds, then they show you the account. They say, look here, look at what our robot does. Our robot made these fantastic returns. So it's really not much risk for them to run it this way, and if it does great, they show it to you. If it doesn't do great, believe me, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see an account that blew itself out or blew the account in the first month or two. They just don't show you. They show you the one that made the money. So it's kind of a common tactic to run high risk, get some good results, and then show it to you. Okay, so this account looks like we have average trade length, 11 hours, 28 minutes. You can see low take profit, 6.74 pips. A high average loss, when they only had 17 losses, but 38 pips approximately. So this gives you a typical idea of how Forex Fury runs when it runs really well. Here's another cable account. Actually, this might be the same account. Let me check. Yeah, it's a similar cable account, it looks like. It looks actually like the same account, so I'm not sure what the difference is here. This one, let's see if it has 17 losses. Yep, so I think it's the same account. I must have done something with magic number here. So forget about that one. Here we have another cable account with lower risk. It's making very little money, but also has very little drawdown. Only been running since, it looks like this one has been running since 2017. So quite a while. This is basically 2.5 years. This one looks like it's trading very small, which is why the small gains, but also the small drawdown. And it looks like it's won, believe it or not, every single one of its 241 trades, which is a little bit unbelievable. So I'm not sure about that, but maybe. Okay, there is a website, Forex Peace Army. You can see that they have reviews of Fury, and one thing you might notice when you read these reviews is that there have been some reviews that came from the same location in Canada used by the representative of Forex Fury. So probably in some marketing attempt, someone from Forex Fury posted a fake review on this website on Forex Peace Army and got caught. So we don't love to see this from a provider or a marketer of robots. We don't love to see them writing fake reviews, of course. We'd rather have complete transparency and honesty when we look at results and accounts. But it's hard to expect that in Forex. Forex is a game full of scams, and my guess is that the people selling Fury stooped to that level. It's not pleasant to see, but it doesn't mean the robot's no good. It just means we need to have our guard up. Okay, the next thing that is a little bit scammy about Forex Fury reviews is that there's this website, Forex Robot Nation. And Forex Robot Nation, I think, is written by a guy who is either part of the Forex Fury team or friends with the Forex Fury team, because I believe, and I could be wrong about this, I believe I've heard his voice on a Forex Fury install video, the guy who does this, but I'm not sure about that. In any case, it seems that the author of this website loves Forex Fury, and I've seen various posts in the past, in 2019, from people who mentioned that this guy is affiliated with Forex Fury. So I would honestly, I would ignore this review of Forex Fury. I just wanted to show it to you so you're aware. I found some other Forex Fury accounts on my FX book. This one I think is a Forex Fury account. If you look, has the sort of classic Forex Fury model of scalping: 6 pip gain, 22 pip loss, high win percentage, 11-hour trade time. So it looks like Forex Fury, this account lost about 22% a month, and it was a real account. Somebody put real money into this, $1,830, lost a bunch and then pulled the rest of their money out and stopped trading the account. So you can see their drawdown was 36%, and they were making negative 23% a month, and they got fed up with it and stopped running it back in 2019. Here's another account. It looks like this one has made 0.5% a month with a 43% drawdown. Let's just make sure that's real. Let me click analyze here, because sometimes my FX book gets it wrong, but yeah, it looks like that's real. This is obviously not great results. Let's see what they were running it on. NZD/USD and another currency here, a few trades, but mainly NZD/USD. So this sort of proves that NZD/USD isn't a great currency to run Forex Fury on, I'm sorry to say, because it looks like the results weren't very good here. We don't want to get 1/3% a month, which would amount to, before compounding, something in the range of, what is that, 4% a year, with a 43% drawdown is not going to make anyone very happy, so I definitely wouldn't want to run it this way. Here's another account. Looks like another Fury version 2, not version 3, the newest version. And this one took a 53% drawdown, or sorry, 53% negative a month with a 75% drawdown, and then it looks like they shut it down and stopped trading. Here's another account. This one it's running, it looks like pound franc, and it took a big drawdown, lost money, or actually not much drawdown, it just lost a lot of money, and they stopped trading it. So it's another one. We can see that the stop loss and take profit are again Fury-ish. In this case it was small 30 pip, big 117 for the stop loss, and it looks like they were trading GBP CHF mainly. I'm going to go back and look at this one to see what they were trading. This is the last one we talked about. Looked like they were trading a number of currencies, and again, it looked like this one's not so Fury-ish. It's a similar stop loss to take profit, so this would not be the right way to run Fury in my opinion. So we can probably throw this review out, not this review, this account. Here's another account with Fury. This one looks like it was run on demo earlier in 2020. It did pretty well, made 12% a month, 24% drawdown, but it only ran for less than a month. It won 93% of its trade, had the small 5 pips take profit, the 35 pip stop loss, the 8-hour hold time, and it made some money, so this looks good. Let's see what currencies it was trading. Cable, which seems to be the best currency for Fury. Okay, I'm running Fury on, first of all, a demo account. So let me go there and show you what my Fury looks like. And I'll explain how I'm running it. You can dig into that a little bit. So we can see Fury for me has, on this demo, made about 2% a month. And I've been running it since March 30th. So I've been running it for April, May, June, and now we're in July. So going on 3.5 months, over 3 months we can say, successfully. Low drawdown, 2%. Monthly profit of 2%. And if we look at some of our statistics, we can see small take profit, larger stop loss, higher win percentage, 92% win percentage. You can see if you look at the equity curve, Fury is jagged because if it takes losses, it takes big losses. So it sort of inched up and then took a big loss, and then it had some gains, and then had another gain, a big gain, and then took a huge loss, and then some more gains, and then another huge loss. Since then, it's been going steadily up. But what you can see here is at no point during this demo run, over 3 months, did Fury go negative. It never lost money. So even when it was at its lowest point of equity, here or here, it was still making money, which is important. Doesn't mean it will always make money. It certainly can lose all of its money quickly because we can see from the high stop loss what can happen with Fury. But overall, Fury's been a moneymaker on this demo account, and it's convinced me to run it very small live. I don't run it with a lot of risk, but I run it sort of as a very light drumbeat on one of my accounts to get me some small profits. I don't take big risk. I take extremely small risks with Fury. 0.01 lot per trade, 10 trades at the same time. So essentially I'm swinging with 0.1 lot with Fury at a max on a currency. So it's very small. But you can see the demo did okay. Let's see how I'm running it. Right now, by the way, it has 10 open trades. It's in a little bit of drawdown. It's closed 912 trades. We look at our summary. You'll see I'm running it on many currencies. Because basically I was running this demo as a test account to see what Fury can do on different currencies. So you would expect Fury to do better on low ATR or low volatility currencies and do worse on high ATR or high volatility currencies. That's what you would expect. But part of it also, what comes into play is time of day. So some currencies are traded more at different times of day. So Fury also, since it runs at close of US market, if you take a currency that's not traded much in that 1 or 2 hours, you might be a little better off with Fury because then it doesn't have as much volatility possibly during that time, although it can still move when there's not much volatility. Not much volume, I should say. So if we take a look at the currencies I'm trading, you can see overall we've made pips on most of these currencies. We've lost on Euro USD, so I would not recommend trading Fury Euro USD. We've lost money on NZD USD, and you might recall one of the demo accounts we looked at earlier was on NZD USD, and it did not do very well. So the other place we've lost is on the British pound versus the Swiss franc, and I believe that was one of the other back tests we looked at as well. So the not back tests, demo accounts that we looked at as well. So those three currencies don't seem to do very well with Fury. You'll also see I'm running sort of one non-traditional currency, which is USD Singapore dollar. It's had 60 trades. It's 146, lost 14, so it's done well. So overall, if I were running Fury, I would not trade Euro USD. I would not trade NZD USD. And I would be probably not trading British pound, Swiss franc. Those would probably be the currencies I would avoid based on what I see here. And that is, in fact, I believe how I'm trading it live. I think I filtered out those three currencies. I didn't apply them to my chart, but I applied these other currencies to my chart, and I'm trading them small. Now, Fury doesn't trade every day. It picks its times. It might trade each of these currencies maybe once a week. And remember I said I trade 10 positions at a time. So I allow Fury to enter up to 10 positions and close up to 10 positions. And why do I do that? The main reason I do that is because if I ever want to trade Fury on a bigger account and it's trading at night, I can have a problem with what are called fills. And what's a fill? A fill is if you tell the broker, let's say late at night when there's no volume and no one's trading, maybe even US market is closed, some brokers are even closed, the Australian market and New Zealand markets haven't even opened up yet, essentially, or maybe they've opened. So it's basically very, very light volume in the Forex world. So if you tell your broker, hey, I want to buy or I want to sell 2 lots, that's a pretty big trade at that time of day, especially on a more obscure currency, like let's say Euro AUD. That's not a high volume currency. So if you say, I want to buy or sell 1 or 2 lots on that currency at that time of day, there's nobody else in the market that wants to buy or sell, wants to be a counterparty to that trade, wants to buy or sell 1 or 2 lots at that time of day of that currency. So your broker's not going to be able to fill that order because there's no one to take the other side of the order. And they're going to have to wait until someone comes along to fill the order. So this means your fill could be really bad because you might not get your fill for 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. You might not get a fill of your order. And when it fills, the spread might be larger because there's not much volume, and you might get it at a different price than you tried to enter at because the price might have moved during the time you're waiting. You have to wait. So if you want to trade higher lot sizes in that time of day, that's one of the reasons I don't like scalpers, because fills can get bad. You can get a lot of slippage and bad fills. So if you trade, let's say, instead of trading 0.1 lot with one position, one trade at that time of day, I would rather trade 10.01 lot trades at that time of day because it's much easier to fill them. Now, I'm exaggerating. It's always easy, I think, to fill a 0.01 lot or a 0.1 lot trade even at night. But if I ever made this a bigger investment and I decided to trade 1 lot or half a lot or 2 lots, and I was only trading 1 or 5 positions, then my positions would be much larger and more prone to slippage or bad fills. With the 10 smaller positions, it divides my trades up into smaller trades. It makes it easier for the broker to fill those trades more quickly. So this is why I'm testing it and running it with 10 smaller trades rather than 1 or 2 or 5 larger trades. So I hope that helps you guys understand my thinking on how to trade a night scalper. And in general, by the way, I'm not a fan of night scalpers, but this is, to me, I already own it, and I kind of like Fury, to be honest, especially with their new version 3. I think it's improved the EA. So I think at this point it's a profitable EA. That's what I think. I'm not promising you it's a profitable EA. Future results can be quite different from past performance. Past performance doesn't necessarily predict or guarantee in any way future results, but I like Fury. So you can see here, Fury is generally a steady drumbeat of making money. Let's go to the grade card, the scorecard for it. So I gave it a pretty high score. And that's not necessarily, so by the way, the overall score here is 240 out of 300, which is a very good score on my scorecard. But it doesn't mean I really think Fury is a 240 out of 300. I probably, if you just ask me how good is Fury out of 300, I would probably tell you, maybe it's a 200, maybe it's a 180, maybe it's a 210, it'd be in that range. But the score is pushed up because Fury does not use any grid or averaging techniques. Fury does not use any martingale techniques. Fury does not use any basket of trade techniques. Even though I'm trading 10 positions, it's not a true basket. They don't all trade at the same time, close at the same time. They run individually. Is a stop loss used? Yes, Fury uses a stop loss, but it's not set on the trade at the broker. So Fury tries to hide the trade stop loss and take profit from the broker, because I think the makers of this EA subscribe to the theory that the broker is going to try to run your stops or make money from you. To me, if you're running with a decent broker, that theory is a little bit silly. So I don't mind having the broker see my stop losses, especially when I'm trading 0.01 lots or half a lot. The broker's not trying to take my trades, I don't think. That's small fish for them. And I haven't seen that in my execution on the brokers I run with, that they're trying to slip me to take my trades. Anyway, so it's hidden. So if there's a malfunction with your EA, or the stop loss or take profit isn't somehow communicated to the broker, you can have a big problem, because you can lose a lot more than your stop loss. So I rated it a 5 here. Average hold time on the accounts I looked at is about 10 hours. So I gave it a 9. That's pretty good. Monthly drawdown to profit is about 1-to-1, which is good. Actually, now that I think about it, looking at all the other accounts I've looked at, I've seen it much higher. So I'm going to change this score. I'm going to make it a 21, and I'm going to lower my score down to a 234. Okay. And then we have average drawdown here, which is max drawdown and account leverage 2%. With the account I'm using and the risk I'm using, so I gave it a 10. Average drawdown so far is less than 2%, but I've seen accounts with much higher, so I gave it a 5 in this category. Overall opinion, profit is mediocre. It's prone to big losses due to large stop loss. It's a fairly volatile EA, but I like it. I'm using it with a little bit of my own live money. So this is, I think, the first EA that I've reviewed for you guys that I'm actually using live, and I think can make me some money. So I'll wrap it up here. If you have any questions, let me know. I look forward to your comments. Please subscribe to the video if you've watched this far, or even if you haven't. I would love you to subscribe, or to share it with a friend and ask them to subscribe. And hit the like button. Thank you very much.